Mm-hmm.
And the vendors are standing. The rest of you can find a place to sit.
Okay.
The vendors should be lined up over there. Those are
All right. I'd like to turn your attention to your inside your folders. You have a small booklet like this. It is called down underneath the logo, it says Vendor Ministries from Western South Dakota. All right. Today with us, we have a number of organizations from throughout our area who are doing a lot of good work in trying to make practical application of the principles of Catholic social teaching and to make a difference in the lives of our people. And they're here today in part to talk about their own ministry and to give us some advice and information with regards to how we might also respond in our own communities. And so I'm going to give them an opportunity to speak to you about their various ministries. They have about 3 minutes apiece. The only thing I would note is that this microphone is not attached to any speakers in this room. This is for the camera. So you still need to speak up.
Hi, my name is Randy Kreisman with Black Hills Area Habitat for Humanity, and I just want to thank you all for putting together this great conference here for all of us to attend. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Dale Barcher. I'm the executive director of a ministry here in South Dakota called the Family Heritage Alliance and FHA Action. I see some friends in the room here today. We are a conservative family public policy organization here in the state of South Dakota. We are headquartered right here in Rapid City with a branch office in Sioux Falls. I am a born, raised, and corn-fed South Dakotan. I love this state, and so this is a perfect fit for me. We are associated with several national organizations. Maybe you've heard of them. A Focus on the Family, Citizen Link, the Alliance Defending Freedom, Liberty Institute, and the Family Research Council. In your packet, you should receive one of our brochures. And if you open the brochures, you see 4 hats, and one of those hats is that of a sentry. So we are a watchdog. We watch for those issues across the state that affect your family, both positively and negatively. So we're a sentry. We're also an advisor. We have 2 websites and a Facebook page that simply advises people on the issues of the day that they can be watching. And when you go by our display in the cafeteria a little bit later on, you have an opportunity to sign up if you'd like to receive a weekly e-news blast from the Family Heritage Alliance, bring you up to speed on our activities across the state as well as issues that face the family. So we're a sentry, an advisor. We're also an advocate. Probably some of our heaviest lifting takes place in the advocacy realm in that during the year, we work with those public officials, elected officials, from the White House to the county courthouse to the schoolhouse. So during the legislative session, I and another on staff with the Family Heritage Alliance are lobbyists at the state capitol. Lobbyists can be a good word. I just want you all to know that. And so we are lobbyists at the state capitol. So we're there for 38 days, feet on the ground, watching for that public policy that the legislators will attempt to pass that we find friendly, we'll support it. If we find unfriendly, we will oppose it. So now we have an election coming up, and I hope that you're all registered to vote and that you take that citizenship very responsibly and as such a privilege. And so when you do vote on November the 4th, at our FHA Action website, you can see those candidates that we have vetted already on a Christian biblical worldview and that we have endorsed, as well as judges, important judge race across the state, as well as issues. We have taken a position on one issue, and that's Amendment Q. Amendment Q is the expanding of gambling in the state of South Dakota. We are opposed to Amendment Q on so many grounds. There are 18,000 plus addicted gamblers in the state of South Dakota. Are we our brother's keeper? We believe we are, and we believe that a no vote on Q would be the right vote, and we would ask for that vote. So those are issues that we tackle, along with the sanctity of human life, protecting natural, traditional marriage, come alongside a religious liberty, fight for that which is right. Human trafficking, we're greatly concerned about, and we've had an emphasis on. So we're kind of like a one-stop shop organization, but so look forward to getting to meet you during the lunchtime, and do appreciate this time to be with you this morning. Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Scott Bader. This is very strange talking to Mike and not hearing anything coming back. I'm with the CASA program. the CASA stands for Court Appointed Special Advocates. Our program finds, recruits, trains, and then supervises and supports volunteers that will then advocate in court for abused and neglected children. CASA is a national organization, so there is a CASA program. I hope there's a CASA program in your community as well as here in Rapid City. The program I'm with is the 7th Circuit CASA program, and we provide services in Pennington, Fall River, and Custer counties. I wish I could tell you that we make sure there is a CASA volunteer there fighting for every little kid that is the victim of abuse and neglect, and that's just sadly not the case. In my program alone, and remember that's just 3 counties here in South Dakota, we've got over 200 kids on our waiting list right now. Our CASA volunteers do a great job of providing services to the kids on their cases. We just don't have enough volunteers. To become a CASA volunteer, it takes 30 hours of classroom training, 5 hours of courtroom observation, and then of course you have to pass a background check, criminal investigation, and that kind of stuff. After you're trained, we will assign you to a case. You go out and meet the child, probably in their foster home, meet the teachers involved with that kids, any therapists that are involved with that child, and then you write a report and give it to the judge on what you believe to be in that child's best interests. And we know that a child that has a CASA volunteer has less contact with law enforcement, has better attendance in school, higher graduation rates, and they are more likely to be adopted if that becomes the final placement for that child. CASA started in the late 70s when a juvenile court judge in Seattle, Washington was just frustrated with the amount of information he was getting back from Child Protective Services. And it wasn't that anybody wasn't doing their job, they were just overwhelmed. And all of the reports he was seeing basically had the same information in them. He knew that couldn't be the case, so they came up with the idea, find volunteers that didn't necessarily have any legal training at all, give them some training, have them go out and meet with the children, and then report back to court on what they believe to be in the child's best interest. That first small group he had was just 50 people. Now there are over 77,000 CASA volunteers all across the country. And as I said, in every hopefully in every community in our area. If you would like to check on the CASA program and you are from our service area here in western South Dakota, please come and talk to me in the cafeteria. If you're not from my area, visit National CASA, and through the national website, you'll be able to find a program in your community. So thanks, and thank you for attending today's events.
Good morning. We are here from Working Against Violence, or WAVY, and as we are commonly known. My name is Linda Schroll. I'm the program director, and this is my coworker, Abby Sharp. She is our care case manager. We are the Domestic Violence and Sexual Assault Agency in Rapid City. We've been serving the community since 1978 and have been at our current location for the past 10 years. Our mission is to create a community free of domestic violence and sexual assault through advocacy, education, and support services. We have a lot of different services, and I'm going to let Abby talk to you about that.
Thanks. So as a case manager, we offer a lot of services. One thing is we help our clients develop a safety plan and an action plan to attain their goals, whether their goals are to obtain housing, to obtain a job, to obtain maybe going back to school. So we help them with that, and we help them get connected to other resources and other agencies around the community. We offer support group for sexual assault and for domestic violence. We offer assistance through the criminal justice process. So if a client does want to press charges, we let them know what they can expect when pressing charges. We can attend the hearings with them. So if they want to get a protection order, we can help them fill it out and also help them go to court. We offer just an ear to listen. Sometimes clients don't often have anyone to talk to about what they're going through, so that's a big thing that we do. Ways for you to help us is through donations. So it can be monetary donations or in-kind donations, such as clothing. I tell a lot of people, whatever you use in your bathroom, like shampoo, conditioner, deodorant, toothbrush, toothpaste, we need like 13 times. We also could benefit from diapers, stuff like that. And also we do need volunteers. So holiday season's coming up, so we do get a lot of donations. So anyone that could help us maybe sort donations, and we do take volunteers for childcare. We do ER response. So if you would like to become an ER responder. So if you have any other questions, please feel free to come up and talk to us at our booth. So thank you.
I'm Ann Van Loan. I'm the Executive Director, CEO of Western Resources for Independent Living. We just changed our name. It was Western Resources for Disabled Independence. That is such a negative connotation. So we took disabled out. And if you have a half an hour, I could talk to you about WRIL. We serve 17 counties in western South Dakota. We serve all significant disabilities, all disabilities, even learning disabilities. We have from zero to birth to death. So we're talking a lot of hard work and loving care from my staff. We do advocacy. We do peer support. We do independent living skills. How quickly we can have a disability, just like that. Just like that. So what we do is a lot of times if they've come to us and they've had a stroke, they can't drive anymore, we help them with menu planning, teaching them how to cook all over again. It's a whole different world. Sometimes they just need to talk to us. Just peer support. Just share. So we just do so many things. We started an adult day center / youth transition, and that is such a blessing because you watch your youth with disabilities and you watch your adults with disabilities, and it's only for the day. We do have some rest, but it's not their home. Although a lot of them think that it is their home because we have home cooked meals, and that's where I want to go at some point, Lord. So and we have one started just recently in Spearfish. So there's just so many things. Come to my booth and I'll talk to you if you have half an hour.
Hi, I'm Jim Kinney, Director of Catholic Health Services, and I think I'm familiar to most of you. A lot of familiar faces here. The thing obviously we do is we do a lot of sliding fee counseling services. We've really made some expansion to try and deal with the issue of addiction and substance abuse. So we've had all of our staff qualified not only in mental health but also getting certification to deal with drug and alcohol issue, which sometimes contributes significantly to people's ability to care for themselves. We obviously have a child welfare program, an adoption program, and placed 600 children over the years. Really, our founder, Monsignor O'Connell, started us shortly after the Rapid City flood is kind of where we began. Our child welfare program is going through some transition, and we've developed a program that we call Program Up that I just addressed just really quickly. It's a program where we have a whole coalition. There are about 24 agencies that come together to take a look at the needs of young mothers trying to raise children, single parents, and trying to help them achieve achieve a level of independence. So we kicked that off in April, and we had our first 4 young women that we helped sponsor a scholarship, them to finish an educational goal. Of those 4 women, 3 of them have now finished their program, and just to kind of give you an amazing sense, these women were working really at minimum wage jobs and struggling to try and meet the needs of their family. 2 of them finished their nursing degree. One has a job as a nurse now. The other one has 5 job opportunities, and all she has to do is pass her boards. So say a prayer for her. She's closing in on that. Another mom that came in, it was just amazing, young mom finishing a degree. She came into our office and she just left us this huge thank you. And she left us this thank you that said, I no longer need your services. She has a job that actually provides for her and has health care benefits for her children. And the third mother is still finishing her program. So, there are ways out of poverty, and just thank you for all the ways you support our ministry and the work that we do. Our Lakota Circles of Hope program is also continuing to grow. So we're now in 15 schools on reservations, 5 different reservations in South Dakota, and we have a call from Nebraska where we have a tribe that's interested in having us do that, as well as one in North Dakota. So say some prayers that program continues to grow. And we're now working not only with 2nd through 5th grade students, but just last week we had a whole team developing a middle school curriculum. So we're about to start a new venture, and that is work with 6th, 7th, and 8th grade kids as well. Appreciate all you do. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Chris Heacock, and I'm part of the Literacy Council of the Black Hills team that we've got here. We're an all-volunteer group, and I'm the current president and then a tutor trainer for Literacy Council. And I'll just give an overview of our organization and then have Christy and Maria, whom I think all of you probably know, talk about our great partnership that we have with Blessed Sacrament and the Hispanic community there. So we are, like I said, an all-volunteer group right now, but we are finding that the need is really great. So we are hoping we can reach more students. We tutor adults in the community who need help with basic literacy skills. Many of them are English language learners. Some also are adults that just didn't learn to read or write because of maybe dyslexia or some kind of learning problem, or someone that just had a tough childhood and whatever the circumstances. So we have a variety of different adults that we might tutor. And our philosophy is each one, teach one, based on Frank Laubach, who was actually a missionary in the Philippines who developed the Laubach way to reading, and we still use that as our foundation for the basic literacy skills that we work with our adults on. And then we have other materials, of course, too. The advantage is that we can really focus on the goals of the students. If it's to help them in their job, if it's to help them be a better parent, whatever it is, we can help with that. We are a United Way 501c3 agency, and that's kind of an overview. We partner with the library. They are our phone number, and they store our materials for us, so we have a great partnership with them. And I'm going to let Christy and Maria tell you about the partnership that we have, and that they have done a fantastic job of coordinating with Blessed Sacrament.
Thanks, Chris. I'm an educator. I am a music educator, so I guess I teach foreign language in a sense, but to many of you. I finished the Just Faith program at Cathedral a number of years ago, and one of the things that came up for me when I searched for some way that I could make a difference was that I minister with the Hispanic community as their piano player once a month, and I've talked with Maria a lot about their needs, and one of the things that many of them were interested in was expanding their understanding of the English language. And so together we've reached out to those folks, and the Literacy Council trains people to be tutors for those students. And I currently have a student, and I don't speak any Spanish, so anybody can do it. But it's very rewarding, and it's not only Hispanic folks that need it, but people who have gone through strokes and are struggling to gain verbal skills back, and as Chris said, kids who just fell through the cracks in language arts instruction in schools. So I'd be willing to answer any questions you have about setting up such a program in your community.
Buenas tardes. Many of you know me already, and I'm from Mexico, and I've been here a Blessed Sacrament member since 1984. And when I came from California, I was one of those who did not understand the language. So it was through different programs that helped me. And as you know, I'm still struggling, but through the grace of God, I knew about the leadership program, that Chris works now, and that really helped me. And one time, how everything begins at Plaza Sacrament is one time my daughter took me in Washington, D.C. to a church, Spanish Mass, and I hear after the Spanish Mass that there is the ones who are learning English here in this room, and that gave me the idea, this can be at Plaza Sacrament, because I look at my community, look back, and the same needs they have now, I was one of them. And many times I see the necessity that how we cannot learn another language. And as tomorrow you're going to see in the readings is how as we as immigrants have to be forced to learn the language. Otherwise we are like blind, deaf, or mute. We cannot communicate. So I thought about this program at Plaza Sacrament, and I asked Father Dan Jules at that time, how can we begin this program at Plaza Sacrament? And I said, I know a program that helped me, that can help us. So to make long story short, to the grace of God, they support us, and now we have 30 students with their tutors volunteer helping them. And with the permission of our bishop, gave us permission to put in the West River Catholic. So our main goal is to not only reach our church, but our diocese as well, because many of you might have immigrants who come from a different country, not only Hispanics. And I think this is one way to reach out to them and open the opportunity through the language of communication. That way, because communication is one of the things that really is the basic, and it has to start with spiritually, and through the Word of God we can communicate and open up different doors. So thank you so much. And
I'm only a second generation American.
Hi, I'm Mark Klein. I'm with the Club for Boys in Rapid City, and we're just finished celebrating our 50th year. And after 50 years, even yesterday, I found out not a lot of people know what we're about. The Club for Boys, our mission is to provide positive experiences that develop self-esteem and character in a safe, caring, and fun environment for all boys. And by all boys, I mean any boys 6 to 17, regardless of their economic status. One of our visions, though, and one that applies to what you're learning today, is that we're trying to meet the needs of the members we serve today so they can develop their potential tomorrow. Some members that come to our club don't need our services too much. They are there because of the friends they have and because of the activities we run. We provide a very safe environment for only $12 a year, which for parents who are in poverty or are struggling, that's one of the best child care opportunities in Rapid City. But it's the fun we have that we use as our tool to develop children. For example, today at our thrift store, if you go there, they're celebrating 25 years, and that's one of the reasons we can do what we do is they help supplement our income and pay for the programming. We have 4 of our members there who learned job skills and had their first job working at our thrift store, meeting people, learning customer service, learning money handling skills, and different skills like that. We assist in the summertime with a food bank, distributing food bags or backpacks to children because the schools don't do that. We don't provide counseling, we don't provide a lot of services, but we do match our families up with those services, and we try to serve as a referral service for those families. We know that you can't expect kids to develop normally if the basic needs, food, shelter, clothing, are not being met. And when we cannot meet those needs, we try to find someone in the community that's already providing those services and direct our families to those. That doesn't mean that we don't utilize the food bank, for example, to provide emergency food for families that are struggling at the end of the month. We also, on occasions, we have what's called the Lord's account that does provide for shoes for children, coats, some of those immediate needs and things that go above and beyond what our true mission is, so that those kids don't have to go without those needs being met. So that's what we do. Please feel free to ask me more about that in the comments, and I can fill you in. Thank you for your time.
Hello, I'm Jennifer Shama. The people with me are Bill, Sharon, and Leonard. We're all part of Hope for New Life Jail Ministry. Hope for New Life has been around 9 years, and it's an interesting ministry. It was started by a couple of parishioners at Blessed Sacrament who recognized that there was no Catholic programming, at Pennington County Jail 9 years ago. Since then, our members are just regular people, volunteers from all the different parishes in Rapid City, all except we've got one parish right now where we don't have a volunteer. But we currently have programs on Wednesday night. There's 2 men's program and 1 women's program. We've been told that it's one of the highest attended programs at the jail. We don't know why for sure, but I have a couple reasons about that. Certainly we offer some Catholic instruction, but more than anything else, we show up there just to be with the people who show up. Typically there's anywhere from 5 to 12 women on a Wednesday night and up to 30 men, because there's 2 men's programs. So, we serve 30 to 40 people a week. But when it's a Catholic program, but we welcome anybody of all faiths. And we're really just there to, like I said, to share and to be the face of Christ. And if there's ever a place where people may need to be reminded about the life and dignity of the human person, it's inside the place of the jail. I mean, a lot of them have burnt a lot of bridges, and they just need a physical person to, kind of be a reminder, or maybe the first time they've ever heard the concept of what divine mercy really is. And we use the divine mercy image a lot. You always go in there to share. We utilize, it's not a formal program because the population of a county jail changes a lot. There are some people we get to know they're there for a long time, but there's a lot of people who are only there for a few weeks at a time. So to have, the best thing we can do is we utilize a lot of Lighthouse CD programs. Some of us have personal testimony stories that they can relate to. So each week is a little bit different, and I think part of why our program is successful there is we're just there to share and to be their friend in Christ. Ways that people can help us. We do offer the inmates a personal Bible, and it's a nice study Bible. So it's, the majority of our fundraising goes to buy these Bibles. We also, they are allowed to have holy cards in their possession, and they're not allowed to have a whole lot. So those colored holy cards with the prayers on the backside are very much treasured, and a lot of them include them in notes to their families and their kids. They take those holy cards, and we are hoping that they're passed out, and they go many places after they leave our program. Another way to help us is to become, if you feel the yearning to visit the jail and be part of our program, we definitely have a sign-up sheet for more information on how to do that. There's about 15 of us. We go in pairs, and so so when you visit the jail, you go 2 times in a row. Your commitment would be, you go to jail like 2 times out of every 5 weeks. We also meet as a group once a month, and so that's one way. We're always looking for volunteers who kind of feel that yearning. At the end of each program, the inmates are offered the opportunity to fill out a prayer request card, and those prayer requests are posted in a couple of the parishes. There's a prayer request book in front of the chapel, and then we also have a prayer partner email list. And right now we have 35 prayer partners, and if we could double or quadruple that list, that would be just such a blessing. So we will have a sign-up sheet for prayer partners at our table. And I guess the last way is one of our people organizes a Christmas caroling event every year where we actually go inside the jail and do a Christmas caroling event on the Sunday before Christmas. Is there anything I need to add? Okay.
Sounds great.
So thank you for your time.
Just check my watch. I can still say good morning to you. My name's John Leitenberg. I'm the executive director for Love Inc., or Love in the Name of Christ. And we've been in Rapid City since 2001, but we're actually part of a nationwide movement of about 140 other affiliates. Been really thinking what to share with you. I'll share a few observations thus far. First of all, almost everyone who's come before me, we all work together. So I don't know if you've caught that yet, but we aren't strangers to one another, and we interact and interdepend on one another. So it's a really neat thing. The other thing I would want you to think about is maybe you think about the potential in this room, the potential of each of you. And when you're at your parish and attending service, and you look at the people that are having Mass, and you think of the potential that's in that room. And that's kind of the heart of Love Inc. We are here to partner with churches to mobilize the volunteers and resources in those congregations to bring the love of Christ to people and bring opportunities for transformation for our community. And so there's a variety of ways we do that. Nobody ever calls us and says, hi, I have dysfunctional relationships, and I was wondering if you could help. People end up calling a lot of times with the symptoms of their problem, not the deeper part. And so we have outreaches through our churches. Help St. Therese, we have a furniture ministry, we have household item, linen closets, we have a home repair team, things like that. We do a big clothing work through Clothe a Kid for School. And so we interact, we grab people through that. But you know what? We don't minister to couches and chairs. We minister to people. And so when someone calls for furniture, it's not about furniture, it's about them and how we can engage them with that and move them forward. With that program, for example, it's not just a giveaway. We find out what's going on in their life. We look for stability, and then we say, we'd like you to have an opportunity to have some ownership in this. And they come and serve alongside other church volunteers in a program I'll tell you about in a second. And probably like 3-4 hours, and they almost without fail go away from that saying, thank you for letting me serve. How can I help again? And part of that is because people don't want to be recipients. They want to be contributors, and we really believe everyone has something to offer. And when they start to awaken that inside themselves, it awakens their own dignity. And so that's very powerful. And then we try to point them to the next step. And we have a program called Life Inc., and we offer classes. We have 2 campuses right now. We're working on 3 within Rapid City where we have classes on finances, parenting that we do along with Catholic social services, employment skills, nutrition, Christian faith. And so people come into these and they build relationships. They share meals together. They have incentives to do their homework week to week, and things start turning around. For a lot of people, Life Inc. is like pre-church. They come and they find out these Christians aren't so weird. They come and they find out there's power in prayer. They feel comfortable being in a church building, and before long they get invited and start attending with someone else. So this year we'll have had 8 10-week quarters of Life Inc. and probably touched over 600 people that have walked through the doors into those classes. And a lot of those coming in because they came and said, I need some clothes for my kids. And we gave those to them in a dignified way, and their kids got to shop for what they want, but in the process they moved on. Just give you a quick story. We had a mom, she wanted to sign up for Clothe a Kid, and you could either pay $10 a child, and we'll help stretch your money by getting matching money through your church, through the area churches, or you can attend a Life Inc. class. So she took a class called Money 101. Very, very basic financial management. One of her comments in classes, we were talking about title loans, because she had 4 payday loans, and we were talking about the percents of interest on that. And she's like, what is percent? I never really got what percent is. Well, you can understand why you're paying over 400% APR when you don't even know what percent means. And so we talked to her about that. Well, one of the first goals is to establish an emergency fund. But her husband wasn't on the same page with her. So he wasn't going to class, but she was sneaking away money into an emergency fund. About halfway through the quarter, he came to her one day and said, "Hon, we're going to have to figure out what we have to pawn because we just blew out a tire on the car." And she said, "Well, actually, we have this emergency fund, and we can go and pay for that with cash." By the end of the quarter, he was saying, "Now, don't forget to put some money in the emergency fund." And so then she moves on. She got those clothes for her kids, but moved on to another quarter of Life Inc. And so that's what it's about. For us, poverty isn't about not having money. Poverty is about broken relationships. It's about a broken relationship with God, because God created us with dignity and in His image, but that broke through sin. And so it's reestablishing our relationship with God. It's reestablishing our own identity. It's reestablishing a relationship with other and with creation. and that happens in a process. And so if you want to learn more, come and stop by the booth. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Tom Golden. I'm the Associate Executive Director of Cornerstone Rescue Mission. Our goal at Cornerstone Rescue Mission, quite simply, is that people served by us can live successfully in balanced and interdependent lives with Christ. We have many, many ways we do that. I could use my own half hour to get through all this. I'd love to share with you at our booth what all we have. We of course have our main mission at 30 Main Street here in Rapid City that has a 60-bed men's dorm plus a 60-bed veterans transitional housing program. We also have a women's home with 33 beds, and I would gather probably about 40 women and children in it. We have a daycare that serves low-income families, serves our women at the women's home so that there's a place to take the kiddos while they're actively searching for work. We have an apartment complex that serves people coming out of homelessness who also have some form of physical or mental disability. And then we have our thrift store, which goes to fund most of those programs. And also, as people are transitioning out of housing, I think 2014 to date, we've re-donated about $60,000 worth of donated merchandise back to people in that transition so that they start their life in a new home with some of the basic essentials. So we've been blessed to do that. Our big project right now, we're actively looking to get into a new women and children's home. There's property on Fox Run Drive here in Rapid that we're looking to buy. So one way outside of financial, material donations and your prayer and volunteer time, one thing you could do is, if you want to become aware of what we're doing there, we need support, letters of support from the community to help move into this new facility. We'll increase our bed count for the women and children's home by just, maybe another 5 to 8 beds. But what that will do for the women, in the sense of the dignity, in the niceness of the space they'll get, our staff's ability to truly help them and move them through to the next step so we can move our waiting list on. I think the benefits are there. The issue we're having is, of course, you try to put a homeless transitional housing program anywhere, and there's going to be people who go, wait, I don't know if I want that in my backyard. So that's, nothing against our hopefully future neighbors. They're being responsible themselves, and I don't hold that against them. But that's what we're looking at. We're going up in front of the city in a couple weeks here, I think. So any support from the community we can get is appreciated. The last thing I'll give you, we have one of our grant programs, is supported services for veterans families. We just finished up the fiscal year for that program. We serve all across the state with that, and we've been able to serve 200 veteran households doing preventative and rapid rehousing measures to keep those veteran families from homelessness. So we've been able to work on a lot of fronts, and I could go on a lot longer. So please stop by, chat with me. It'll be a good time. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Kathy Harris, and I'm one of 50 graduates from the Just Faith program. It's been mentioned a few times here, and I will tell you a little bit more about it, but I hope you'll come and visit me at my table, because as some of these other people, I could talk for an hour. So I wanted to just let you know the Just Faith program is a social justice program that is designed to help parishes, small groups in parishes, to learn more about social justice issues. It is based on the Catholic social teachings, and it's a 30-week program with a number of different books that you're required to read and discuss through the group. It was a very fun experience. I am one of 50 people that have graduated from that program here in the Rapid City area. And as I look around the room, there's about 12 or 14 of us here today. So it has made a huge impact on our lives, and it gives you that opportunity to go out into the community, to learn how to react and help and get involved in different social justice issues. It's not just about the homeless. It's not just about Right to Life. It's all different aspects, as the Catholic social teachings will show you. I would love to visit with any of you that would like to come over to my table. I have some handouts on how to get more information about getting a Just Faith program in your parish or in your community, and they're at my table. So I hope to see all of you there.
I don't think it's working, is it? Oh, you do? Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm screwing it up already. I'm Jean Carlson, and I'm the director of Birthright in Rapid City. And one of our volunteers, Bernie Boland, is here with me today, too, and we have a booth. And Birthright has been in this community providing crisis pregnancy information, and we provide pregnancy tests. It's all free and confidential. And this ministry started in Canada by a Catholic convert woman that had 7 children over 40 years ago. And so we have 12 volunteers at our center, and we have a little house where the girls can come. And the first thing they come in, and there's a kitchen, and it's like a house. We have couches and we are open about 20 hours a week, and we would like to be open more. So our needs are that to have our hours staffed. We've developed a fetal alcohol or a fetal development educational program, and a couple of our volunteers are trying to bring that within the community, whether in educational format in our CCD programs, or so we welcome an invitation to come and speak to your young people. We provide layettes to the new moms that come into our center, and some formula, and so many of you I do recognize, and we have plugged into these other ministries, and so it's good to see everyone and put a face to the ministries and what you provide, so we can refer our girls to all of you. One of the biggest things that has helped our ministry is the bishop's institution of Eucharistic adoration. We're in 95% of our people are Catholic, and this provides them a quiet place to go and reboot. And for me as a director, it's very edifying for me to see them at Holy Mass and praying for this ministry. So it's good to be here and be invited, and thank you.
Thank you to all of our vendors. It's really good to have you here today. And as all of you were speaking, I mean, I'm deeply inspired by all of the good work that you do. It is really tremendous just to look in a little community like ours to see all of the good that's happening. And it just reminds me of that adage that's so often heard as we talk about the church's social tradition, that not everyone can do everything, but everyone can do something. You know, everyone can do something, and we have around us here proof that everybody can do something, and that something makes a difference. It really does. So, I really am very, very inspired by all of that. But this is not about me. This is about the church's teaching, and mostly right now it's about lunch, I guess. So, so let's say a prayer in the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Almighty God and Father, who give us so many wonderful